You're welcome to KORERO, the platform where we break down Nigerians' political heartbeat and bring clarity to unfolding national issues. I am Godwin Sunday. As the 2027 general elections draw closer, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, once the dominant political force in Nigeria, finds itself at a crossroad. From leadership tussle to internal factional dispute and questions over zoning, the cracks within the party continue to widen, raising concern about its readiness to reclaim national prominence. With several chieftains pulling in different directions and a growing struggle for control at both national and state levels, many wonder whether the People's Democratic Party can rebuild unity and regain the confidence of its supporters before the 2027 elections. But joining me to examine this development and provide deeper insight into the dynamics within the People's Democratic Party is Comrade Walmart Dabokiabo, a PDP chieftain and also a political analyst. Well, he will be helping us dissect the issues even here tonight. Stay with us as we will delve into the conversation after this break. Please go nowhere. KORERO continues in a moment. You're welcome back. Well, with me in the studio is Comrade Walmart. You're welcome to KORERO.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Comrade Walmart, there are a lot of things to even dissect here on this table, but let's begin from the top of the conversation. First, a lot of Nigerians will say that PDP is struggling to reposition itself as the main opposition party. That's for many Nigerians. But then, 2027 is also approaching. What is the general state of the People's Democratic Party within its internal ranks and files? Is the party still united, or it has told the path of division?
Well, once again, thank you for having me. And let me say that PDP is just like every political party is having its fair share of what I would like to call interest wrangling. And that is what we're experiencing. So, not that we're experiencing an abnormal situation. It's not. It's something that is expected within a political setup or a political family. So, we are hopeful that we'll resolve whatever challenges we are facing today. We have had such before, which we overcame, and it has raised ugly head again, and we are working towards addressing issues like that. So definitely we are working towards strengthening the party under the leadership of Ambassador Damagu to ensure that we have a very formidable party and conduct our national convention.
Well, speaking of Damagu as a national chairman acting national chairman of
no,
the People's Democratic
national chairman.
Well, we can't say for sure that he's a national chairman,
no,
because
he is.
The report reaching
not
us.
in dispute.
Well, the report reaching us said that he has been suspended by the person of Senator Anyanwu, and that faction of the People's Democratic Party is what is playing out, and that is what Nigerians should thrust as the voice of the People's Democratic Party. But you want to quickly react to this?
No, I definitely say it's very comical to have seen that being displayed, because following the Constitution, the PDP Constitution, if you look at the PDP Constitution, Section 29, subsection 4, you cannot suspend someone without having a quorum. Section 29(4) stated it clearly, the process and procedure. One, to convene NWC meeting, you must have two-thirds. Two-thirds, the NWC is constituted of 19 members. Two-thirds, you must have, in other words, 12 members present and seated, voting. And the other people, group, the National Secretary group, only have 3 persons. Among them, every other person you see there are just members. NWC member, the National Legal Advisor, National Secretary, and the National Organizing Secretary. Those are the 3 NWC members. But the real NWC, headed by Ambassador Damagu, are 14. They exceeded the constitutionally required two-thirds, and their position remains the position of the party because it's in line with the constitution. One, they were able to get 2/3 of the NWC members. Number two, not just getting the two-third NWC members, they also follow the constitution. If you look at section 47, where they suspended them for 1 month and referred them to a disciplinary committee. So they follow the constitutional laid down procedure. So there is no dispute to the fact that Ambassador Damagum is the national chairman of PDP. Forget the drama. We understand the drama, but the truth is that Ambassador Damagum is the national chairman. It is there. It is clear. The NEC confirmed him as the national chairman. He was acting. So we only have one national chairman, and he is the one, and only one NWC, which he is heading. So any other one is just a distraction.
Okay, so what we said, it's just a distraction, but then in a press briefing on Saturday, we saw Senator Anyanwu suspending Damagum, suspending the publicity secretary, suspending principal officers, and subjecting them to disciplinary committees.
No, I've told you.
Okay, please go ahead.
See, I've told you, I don't want it to be overflogged because I don't want to say much about it. Anyanwu knows the constitution. I was one of the young persons that defended him in this country when they wanted to use the back door to remove him. And I stood by I always stand by the constitution. And at that time I stood because I knew that the constitution is on his side. But right now, the constitution is not on his side. He cannot suspend the chairman. He cannot suspend any NWC member with 3 members. He should galvanize 14 or 15 or 12 members. Then he can suspend anybody. But you cannot use 3 members. It's laughable now. Let's be honest. I've told you section 29, subsection 4, stated it clearly that you must have two-thirds of 19. The NWC members are 19. And the Ambassador Damagum led NWC produce 14 to suspend him. And the National Organizing Secretary and the National Legal Advisor and the Deputy National Legal Advisor, who is not an NWC member, is a national officer, yes, but not an NWC member. So there is no argument about it. I want the media to help build our democracy by, emphasizing the right thing, the constitutional issues. It's constitutional that Ambassador Damagum is the chairman. There is no any other thing I just told you. It's entertainment.
Well, comrade, let's speak to the issues around the PDP convention.
Yes, please.
Will the convention still hold in Oyo State?
Well, the party said it will still hold. And I believe
going by the various internal crises that we're seeing playing out in the party, on one hand, we're seeing various court judgments and injunctions from courts to stop the convention from holding, even from party chieftain instituting these charges and claims in the court. Will the convention still hold?
Now, see, let me make something clear. The Supreme Court has said it right from when Onoge was the Chief Justice of the Federation. I think even before him, the Supreme Court has been consistent about the supremacy of the party, and when it comes to leadership, it is the internal affairs of a political party. They have been consistent in their judgment. I must give that to the Supreme Court. And what today we are talking about is leadership of the party. And they took the party to court. And the Federal Court has made pronouncement. First, I expected that the party would have filed for the case to be transferred, considering the history behind the judge that was assigned the case. But from investigation, they said the lawyers that represented the party said, no, it's okay, that is not an issue. But today, see the judgment that came out. Because the judgment, as in the originating summon, those that took the party to the court did not talk about Anyanwu's signature. But from what the judge read, he brought that as one of the reasons for the cancellation or suspension of the, the convention. Let me tell you, if you look at the PDP constitution, Section 33, subsection 4 and 5, it is expressly clear there. To convey a convention, national convention, the procedure are clear. And the party so far has met the criteria for convening a convention. You don't need to have all the 36 states and the FCT having democratically elected ESCO. We have had, before Secondus came on board, we had some states, no ESCOs. It was caretaker. Even when IU came on board. As we speak today, in that section 33(4), the Constitution said majority members of the party. It did not even talk about states. It said 2/3 members of the party. Not even by states, 2/3. So let's assume it, not conceding that it's by states. 2/3 means 24 out of 36 plus FCT, that is 37. 2/3 of 37 is 24. And the party has conducted Congress in not less than 28 to 30 states. So the party is on course to organize a national convention.
With or without the secretary's signatures?
No, the secretary signed it before. He signed the notice of notice for the convention in the last NEC meeting. He signed it and they submitted it. So we were surprised when he even came up and said that he did not sign. We were surprised. But be that as it may, the thing is that the letter before him, before INEC, is the signatory of the national chairman and national secretary. So INEC has been properly informed. The congresses, no less than 30 states are democratically elected congress. Only about 4, so about 5 we are having issues. So on what ground are you stopping the only national party we have in this country? The only people-oriented party we have in this country, on what ground? And that's why the people are, querying the judgment. And some people are giving it a different interpretation. To the extent Chief Bode Judge, a leader of the party, said the judge should remove his gown and his wig and come to the political arena. That is because everything has been done in line with the party constitution, electoral act, and the constitution of our great country. So, what is it? There is no time you conduct Congress that you will not have aggrieved persons. There was no time in the history of any political party, not just PDP.
Well, speaking of aggrieved persons, prior to the election of 2023, we saw the G5 governors coming out to categorically say that they would not support the candidature of the People's Democratic Party. And we saw what played out. But then, have there been genuine reconciliation even among those party members that defected before that election? If yes, you want to quickly brief us what was the process like? Have PDP been able to address that issue around aggrieved members that left the party?
You see, most of them, some of them left, some did not leave. They were in the party but refused to work for the presidential candidate of the party because they felt it was the right thing to do, to zone the presidency to the south, and the party did not zone it to the south, putting into consideration section 37C in 3C of our constitution, and also the pulse of the nation, that the presidency ought to be zoned to the south. But having said that, after that, there have been attempts to reconcile aggrieved members. But as you also know, even in a family, it is not easy. These are independent people, exposed people with means and ways and so on. So when you are trying ambitions, so an interest, so to reconcile such persons is an Herculean task. But the party did its best. But I believe that maybe some were not satisfied and they did not budge to the reconciliation process. But the party did its best, because there is no way you not have rancor in a political party. Because what are they fighting for? Interests, to protect their interests. So the party did its best to resolve. There was a disciplinary committee, there was a reconciliation committee, standing one, and after that they set up the Saraki Reconciliation Committee, and all that was an attempt to see how to bring aggrieved members together.
So was he able to address those issues?
No, at least some of them were addressed, like we had the issue of the National Secretary at that point. But the Saraki Committee was able to, in line with the Constitution, persuade leaders to accept the fact that the National Secretary, Netanyahu, before he was suspended, remains the National Secretary following the Constitution. And that was a very great achievement, which made the party to have peace before this ugly incident.
Even though some people have said that Anyanwu's faction are sponsored by the G5. Anyanwu is being supported by the likes of Nyesom Wike and other members of the G5. But you want to quickly react to this. If Saraki's government or Saraki reconciliation team were able to genuinely reconcile those parties, should the People's Democratic Party still be this divided as it stands right now? And if no, how prepared is the People's Democratic Party right now for the 2027 elections, looking at the division right now within its rank and files?
You see, a lot of people have insinuated, and that is what is in the public domain, that some people have elected themselves to destroy the party, and they are willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that the party does not succeed, and as such they take actions towards that direction. So such things are playing out. We are beginning to see such things which before now we don't believe. I was one of those that defended the FCT minister, one of the young person in this country that defended the FCT minister. Nobody, no young person defended him as the way I defended him. And when they came for I defended him because it was in line with the Constitution. But as we speak today, the actions, and even to some extent the inaction we can see taken, it's not in line with the Constitution. And I've always, stood by the Constitution. I will continue to stand by the Constitution. So the Senator Saraki Committee did that, and maybe this took them unawares. We are waiting to see what they will come up with, because it just started with the court case, the pronouncement of the judgment, and so on and so forth. So that is about that. Then talking about 2027, we are working towards that. And that's why we are working towards conducting our convention. So new management of the party will emerge, because by this 9th of December, the present NWC tenure will expire. New NWC members ought to emerge, and that is what we are working towards before this ugly situation rear is ahead. But we believe that we will overcome it, and before the first quarter of next year, we must have stabilized our party towards the 2027 election.
Well, comrade, it's as if the People's Democratic Party is right now shy from addressing critical issues that is bedeviling the party.
Like?
From all angles, it has been said that PDP problem started from the G5 governors. Yes. And right now, part of the G5 governors is still part of the People's Democratic Party's issues, even causing a lot of wrangling and distortion within the party's rank and file. I'm curious, is the party afraid to address these issues, or afraid to address these personalities within the party?
No, the party is not afraid to address personalities.
Or perhaps I should put it more accurate. Are they bigger than the party?
No, definitely nobody is bigger than the party, and the party is not afraid to address anybody or put anybody in his place. But you see, there are differences when you are far and when you are in the leadership. There are a lot of things you put into consideration before taking certain decisions. Until you put those considerations, there are some decisions you cannot take. So it is not just a spontaneous thing, or you react the way the public reacts to issues. So the party has been looking at it gradually, and we have a constitution. And the leadership will follow the constitutional process to address any issue, even discipline of any members. Just like I told you, the Constitution made it clear in section 57(7), if you want to discipline a member that is of that level.
Comrade,
yes.
You'll be following the Constitution, and the party keeps going down.
No, you are guided by your Constitution.
Okay,
you cannot go outside the ambit of the Constitution. And they are looking at it, because you cannot just come up and suspend someone. You have to, there must be a petition. Or there are some categories of persons, only the NWC can suspend them on behalf of the NEC. So those are the issues we are having. Like the NWC members cannot be suspended by their word. It's only by NWC. And that's why you saw that the 14-member NWC suspended them. And that stands following the Constitution, which I've cited, Section 29(4). So the party is doing what it ought to do to address those issues. Yes, there are issues. Yes, the party is doing something about it. And yes, the party will definitely address it. It's not a one-day thing. These are personalities. These are people that have been in the party. Some of them have contributed their quota for the party and so on and so forth. So when you are handling some issues, you have to be careful.
Well, speaking of being careful, comrade, a lot of people have said, this is a public opinion,
yes,
that some individuals within the People's Democratic Party right now are sabotaging the effort of the party in order to ensure that the party does not win any election within the party. Now, these are whispers, but then the reality, internal rivalry, rifts, a lot of division within the party. That's why I asked you, with all of this playing out, that the party does not want to address this, even going against its constitution, or perhaps reigniting its constitution in order to address this particular concern. Because I don't think that the People's Democratic Party saw this coming. But they are where they are right now. No. You want to quickly react?
Yes. The thing is that, like I told you, the party has reacted. Look at the suspension of some of the members the party felt are working against the interests of the members of the party. They follow the constitution. It's a constitutional process. So the parties is gradually addressing those issues. And as I said to you, you have to have good reason before you suspend or expel someone from the party, in order to not to create another situation. So the party is doing that. And I'm telling you that everybody knows that PDP is a party that stands for the people. And at the appropriate time, everybody will have his fair share of discipline. Because they didn't see it coming, the suspension. That 40 NWC members will sit down and take this decision and suspend them. They didn't see it coming. It's constitutional, it's binding. There is nowhere they will go, even the court will tell them leave.
Well, comrade, yes, we've seen PDP in the last 2 years. PDP have lost Akwa Ibom State.
Yes.
PDP have lost Enugu State. PDP has lost Delta State. PDP is at the verge of losing. We are afraid to say, but the whispers are there that PDP will likely still lose more states as it stands. The National Working Committee, the NWC, looking at what is playing out and these persons that are involved, first, I want to even ask, why is the People's Democratic Party not challenging all of these defections in court? Like we've seen play out that of Delta State. We didn't see the People's Democratic Party go to court to challenge the mandate. Akwa Ibom State has played out. Right now, Enugu State have played out. Is it that the National Working Committee is becoming too diplomatic, that it doesn't want to get on the foot of some certain members of the party?
Definitely not. Definitely not. You see, it is unfortunate that people don't appreciate the opportunity given to them by this party. You know, let me tell you, there's a parable that he that gives birth to a child did not give birth to the mind of the child. You can be carrying, there's another, the monkey that the mother is carrying will not know when the monkey, the baby monkey will pluck a fruit on the way. So the thing is that, yes, they are members of the party, but they are ungrateful members of the party, because without PDP, we wouldn't have known any of them. They would have been in somewhere, one local champion somewhere, nobody would have known them. But PDP gave them the opportunity. And if there's issue within the party, and you're a leader, won't you come and be part of those that will resolve the issues of the party? Won't you strengthen it? Some of them were even among those that created the problem. Like, for example, the Enugu State governor. He brought one, with all due respect, one tout as to present as national secretary, and we said you cannot bring anybody through the back door. And somebody that was running barefooted, he was part of the people that created the problem we are facing today. But same person as Professor Dinta will call him, godless, conscienceless, and greedy fellow, left the party after causing confusion in the party. Instead of resolving, if you're having issue with your family members, your wife or your children, will you just leave them and run away? Won't you try to say I can resolve the issues? That is what is expected of most of these governors and some of these senators. But shamefully, they refuse to do that and jump into. And that's why I said I want to be like the president. How do I mean? When I say I want to be like the President Tinubu, President Tinubu stood his ground as an opposition leader till he removed PDP from power, and today is the president. He did not jump from one party to the other. He did not join PDP despite the fact that he had issue with the sitting president, Obasanjo. He stood his ground. It's 8 years. But these people are shameless. The president cannot take them to a war front because he will say these are chicken-hearted people. They don't have the character and the charisma to go for him to take to the war front. Because a little issue, they left their party. The president, the president and the presidency, just an APC, is just catching cruise with them. Because this is something that the president himself stood his ground. And he'll be shocked. He's just saying that for media. The president will not take them serious because he has seen that they don't have the mind, they don't have the... See, if you cannot bear the heat, don't stay in the kitchen. And that is why I said I want to be like the president. I want to stand my ground as an opposition leader till my party comes back to power. I respect the president. I'll criticize the president because I'm not from his party. But I respect him for that reason. I respect him, and trust me, he will not take those governors that are decamping, jumping for fear of second term, losing their second term election, for fear of maybe they put their hand where they are not supposed to put their hand, for EFCs to come after them. The president stood when he was governor. He was not afraid that he would lose the election. He made himself and his party popular. This was their fair weather friends. They are chicken-hearted
comrade,
members.
The People's Democratic Party also holds an obligation to its constituencies and also the
Nigerians.
We've seen senators and House of Rep members also defecting, and People's Democratic Party
all of them.
So the People's Democratic Party have not challenged this court.
No, they are challenging it. One of them, like Zamfara?
Yes.
He just lost his seat in the court.
That's one out of many.
No, one out of many. It depends on how expeditiously the case is being handled.
Appeal is still on.
Appeal is still on.
Yes.
And you know, and that's why I said the convention.
It took the People's Democratic Party approximately 2 years to wake up and to come alive to its responsibility
of challenging defection. The convention will go on. Why do I say so? When you appeal a case, it is considered that you have stopped or suspended the judgment. Otherwise, even though you appeal a case, there is a judgment, you ought to vacate the seat, even as a governor. But until the Supreme Court, the final pronouncement. So the convention can go on because it's just a court of first instance. It has not gotten to the Supreme Court. I'll give you an instance in Rivers State. In Rivers State, we have a case. There was a judgment on the 15th of July 2024 concerning the Rivers State PDP Congress. 25th, there was a judgment against a federal high court judgment, and we know, looking at section 249 of the Nigerian Constitution, the appeal court, the federal high court, and looking at section 272 of same Nigerian Constitution, the high court of a state are of coordinate jurisdiction. But they went to federal high court to secure a judgment as against a state high court judgment, which is, coordinate jurisdiction, or not to invalidate that initial judgment. But they brought it. But another judgment came on Friday, 26th, stopping the Congress. But they went ahead to conduct the Congress. Why? Because the national supports it. And that is because it's a leadership issue. And if it is a leadership issue, the Supreme Court has ruled in several cases that it is the internal affairs of the political party. The court has no business in it. And also, as we speak today, whose faction is being recognized in Rivers State APC? the Tony Okocha faction. But the Beke faction got caught in judgment in their favor. The local government chairmen that are there today are from Tony Okocha faction. So what are we not talking about? You know, the thing is that there's a time, it's high time we acted in a manner where people say politics is not a dirty game as we say it. And that's why I was on a sister platform this afternoon. They asked me, I said, I'm on the part of the Constitution, not on the part of anybody. It's the Constitution I'm talking about. So, looking at this, trust me, when I was talking about this thing, I'm not talking about just the governors, I'm not talking about just this, I'm talking about all those that have left the party. And I'm also talking about the judgment that has proceeded from the courts that ought not to have proceeded out of the court in that manner.
Well, you've said that it ought not to have proceeded in that manner, but then equity will not serve you what you did not request or
no, this is the serve, so no, it serves. In Nigeria, equity will serve even what you don't. Because in the originating someone, nothing about the national.
Equity does not aid the indolent. It can only aid the vigilant. But the People's Democratic Party has slept on its rights severally, so it has become like a norm, a tradition, a recurring phenomenon that has become like a culture in Nigeria that you can move from party A to party B without any form of consequences. And of course, we are bound to live with that in the country. But then let's move to the issue around the whole internal rivalry in the People's Democratic Party. Will this, after the convention, a lot of people are speculating that there's going to be some form of merger if the People's Democratic Party trying to join forces with other political parties in order to regain power come 2027. How will you react to this old stance? Will People's Democratic Party actually join other political parties in order to regain power?
No, you know, I will not call it merger. I will call it collaboration with other political parties to make sure that we deliver Nigerians from this appalling situation they have found themselves. Nigerians have been yearning for PDP to come back. We don't even need to campaign because the APC has campaigned for us with their failure, their geometric failure in all aspects, insecurity, economy, every aspect of this thing, every aspect of our society, the APC has failed. And that is why we are trying to put our house together, because we know that they cannot, Nigerians will not vote them back. Nigerians are just waiting for PDP to put their house in order and come back and deliver them from this suffering. Looking at the 16 years of PDP and looking at the 10 or 11 years of APC, Nigerians are weeping to the extent that our life expectancy has reduced to 54. We are the worst, one of the worst economy in the world. What do you want to talk about? That is why we are trying to make sure that we put this party in order. We will not jump to APC. The president did not jump to PDP. He fought till he came to power. And we will make sure that we bring, because they came with all sort of a propaganda, they got to power, they've not been able to do anything. Nothing. All the what Nigeria is sustaining on is what PDP did.
Well, comrade, the issue around the zoning often stirs internal conflicts.
Yes.
Within the People's Democratic Party.
Yes.
Has the party agreed on where the presidential ticket will go come 2027? Because that is the root of the whole matter.
That is a done deal.
All right.
It's a done deal because, you know, I want to commend the Ambassador Damagud-led NWC because they finally convinced the NEC for the presidency to be zoned to the south and the national chairmanship to the north. And that is why you see everybody wanting to contest for the national chairman is coming from the north. Then after we did that, the party now zoned the national offices between the south and the north. And from there they microzone it and microzone the chairmanship to the northwest. In as much as personally, I would have preferred Ambassador Damagud for it to be zoned to the northeast, for Ambassador Damagud to come back, because he has shown capacity, he has shown fairness, he has shown inclusivity, he has shown justice. So I would have preferred him to come, but unfortunately, the stakeholders from the north, they have the, right now the exclusive power to nominate, and they've nominated someone from the northwest, and they've zoned it to the northwest and nominated someone. And that's why I felt so bad that a leader will, condescend low for whatever interest or for whatever reason to come out after the period that is being made, approved by the NEC, for you to purchase form to contest for the national chairmanship as passed, as a lapse, you now came up because you're a founding father, they should sell you form just to embarrass the party. And I'm talking about His Excellency Alhaji Sule Lamido. Because the problem we have are greedy leaders, and he's one of them. And I'll tell you why. You know that between 8th and 22nd of September is the duration for the purchase and sales of form. Why didn't you get it that time if you want to contest? This is same person. In 2023, he took the senatorial ticket in Jigawa State. He gave his daughter one of the House of Rep tickets in Jigawa State. He gave his son the governorship ticket in Jigawa State. And that's why we are fighting for PDP, for the party to go back to the people and not to be built around personalities. You did that, and none of them won. You couldn't deliver the party. Today, because you're a founding father, you want to, contest for national chairmanship, and the time for the position for purchase of form has elapsed, you want them to give you form. No! I'm saying, using this platform to tell the national chairman, you cannot give him. He's part of the people that made the constitution. So why does he want you to flout the constitution? You shouldn't give him. Look at him as a leader of PDP since 1999. He has become governor under PDP, he has become minister. Ask him how many times has Alhaji Sule Lamido delivered PDP in Jigawa State? None. It's only when PDP won, it was when Obasanjo, His Excellency, former President Obasanjo so assisted him to become the governor of Jigawa State. Today, you had the opportunity to call, as an elder, to call the warring faction or interest group together and address and plead with them. Instead, you are there to fuel it the more. These are greedy leaders we have that is causing problems.
These are founding members of the party, so we can't authoritatively say they are greedy.
No, they are.
They are founding members of the People's Democratic Party.
Why would they call them greedy? Because you have only took House of Reps, only took Senate, only took
exception to that rules that can exempt those that have also been founding members to be able to express themselves.
That is the issue we have with Atiku. Because he's a founding father, he wants to take the ticket always.
Well, the People's Democratic Party have always played politics, so they will definitely have a way around it. Probably there's be a lacuna. We saw what played out in 2023 when Atiku Abubakar came into the party. But then, let's talk about the future of the People's Democratic Party. A lot of young Nigerians are worried over what is playing out in the party. Can we say right now the People's Democratic Party is designed to accommodate young Nigerians, or it's designed for the elderly?
No, you see, the People's Democratic Party is designed for the people across board, but encourage mostly the young Nigerians and the women and the disabled. That is the main aim.
I'm asking because right now as it stands, young people have not been part of the problem of the People's Democratic Party.
No, they are not.
We've not seen young people emerge as a part of the problem.
No, definitely not.
What has played out in the People's Democratic Party for the last couple of years, let's take it from 2015,
yes,
has been a scenario where founding members and political interest holders try to play cards within the party, and this has cost the party a lot of defection, a lot of losses within its the party structure. But then let's talk in terms of the future of the party, because the young people hold the future of all political parties. Is the People's Democratic Party right now designed for young Nigerians?
Yes, I would say yes, 100%. Even our youth leader was 25 when he became youth leader. First in the history of political party, most especially in this.
And he has not fermented problem.
He has not fermented problem.
He has not caused. His team has not caused problem.
Yes, he has always been with the party, the interest of the party. And the party has that design for young people. The only issues we are having, young people have not built up that courage, as we see in other parts of the world, come up to say, no, I want to take this step. I want to contest for this, whether I have the money or not. Sometimes you can just go, an opportunity, chance can just happen and you emerge. A lot of people came up through that point. And that's why we want the party to be taken back to the people. We don't want it to be built around leaders. We don't want it to be built around personalities. It should be for the people. And that's why when the former national chairman, what is it called? Is it Senator Chief Iwobodo so introduced e-registration? The governors fought against it. One of the problems we're having in the party are the governors. Today, look at them, they are running away from the party. And I still repeat, I salute and respect the president for standing his ground as an opposition leader, to the shame of those that are decamping to meet him in his ruling party today. So the PDP is designed for young people, and I want to encourage young Nigerians that say, come, PDP is for you. Come in. Let's push these old people that has given us this problem out and take the party and build our country. Japan will not solve your problem. People there are the ones that build their countries. Let us build our country. We can build our country through PDP. If young people are participating in PDP, I'm telling you, we will not see all this thing because we'll push them out and take over power. The major thing is to show interest and the courage. If you look at the other day, I was looking at most of the countries are young people presidents, but because they took the bull by the horn, we need to do that in Nigeria and in PDP, the young PDP members. The problem, we always want to be followers, PA, this, that. We want the easy life. No, you must make sacrifice. That's why I encourage them to read history about Kwame Nkrumah, about Macaulay, Nnamdi Azikiwe at Tafabe. They sacrificed.
Even though the forms will be sold for 100 million. Even though
if you protest, they'll reduce it. We can say no, we cannot buy that. Well, and the young people will protest and they will reduce it.
We'll see how that will play out in the People's Democratic Party.
But we've not sold any for 100 million.
We will see 50 million and 100 million. Well, it's just a matter of time. We'll see. Of course, the inflation will definitely affect the People's Democratic Party's form.
And that's why I want to remove this party, because inflation did not affect us. We are selling at the rate. But with this failed APC, inflation is affecting it. But we'll make sure that we accommodate the young people.
Well, comrade, just before I let you go, let me get you speak to 2027. If you want to predict the outcome of the 2027 election, with what the internal wrangling going on within the People's Democratic Party, can we say that the party can reclaim power come 2027, in all fairness?
You see, hopefully and objectively speaking, I'm looking at by first quarter of next year, we are done with all our
internal wranglings.
And after that, we'll now put our house in order towards the 2020. See, let me tell you, Nigerians love this party. Nigerians have been the one voting this party. I was on a sister station today, and if you hear the calls that came in, Nigerians making, they are begging us. Some of them are attacking us. Some of them are pleading with us that please put your house in order and come and save us. Nigerians will be the one to vote us. And that's why I want to plead with the INEC chairman. You have promised Nigerians that under your watch, the losers will congratulate the winners. That was what you said. And that means you conduct the freest and fairest election that is even more freer than that of the SDP and NRC. We hope you will stand by your words. That is the only thing. I want to plead that electronic transmission of result and the beavers having legal backing, it should have legal backing in our electoral act. I tell you, Nigerians, it will incentivize Nigerians to come out to vote, and trust me, PDP will come back to power.
Well, I've been talking with Comrade Wormot Dabokiabo. Well, it's a delight to have you on KORERO again.
Thank you for having me always.
But viewers, this is how far we can go today on the show. Don't forget that you can follow us and join the conversation on our various social media platforms currently showing on your screen. And you can also download the Rapid TV app from your Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. My name is Godwin Sunday. Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Do enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye for now.